How are you today?
I'm doing fine, buddy. Just catching up on things.
We had a great lunch today.
Yeah, it was good. The old taqueria.
Tuco? No, not Tucos.
No.
Screw Tucos.
It's Taco Rojas. Yeah. Little.
Which means red taco, I think.
Rojas is red? Yeah.
Rojo? Rojo might be red. What does tacos rojas mean? ¿Qué te dice?
Good tacos.
Yeah.
They got good tacos.
Yeah, they had the 2 enchilada lunch special.
This is a place just up the road from Black Dog proper.
I mean, you could see it from there. Yeah. Go to Black Dog and then get lunch at Tacos Rojas.
Yeah,
you can't go wrong.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily a connoisseur, but I've been around. Oh,
I feel it. I heard they actually won an award a few years ago, I think, for some of the most authentic Mexican food in Roanoke.
Yeah, it's
and
good.
At that time, it was still like a converted convenience store, which it kind of is still, but.
No, it's not really. I mean, the convenience stores,
now.
You want to pick your drink, you go to the cooler, pick your drink, but there's no beer.
Right.
They got 2 other locations, but this is the best one because for some reason, it tastes better.
It's so good.
I mean, I haven't been to any of the other ones, but everybody tells me maybe it's just the mind's taste buds. I'm not sure.
It's like you walk in expecting nothing, and then you get blown away. It's like if it was a fancy place, you would think.
Well, it's Tex-Mex at that
more
point.
Of your food.
This is not Tex-Mex.
Yeah.
And nothing against Tex-Mex, but, this is authentic.
Authentico.
See.
Well, hey, cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
I just burped while talking.
Yeah.
Congratulations, everyone. You got to hear it. Cheers to making it through season 1.
Season 1. This is
the Black Dog Salvage podcast.
This is the last one of season 1.
That's right. Today's season 1, episode 13. Let's get into it.
All right. There we go. I like the tambourine where it comes in.
We'll do it live one day.
I can do the tambourine. Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Mike Whiteside here, and I am the father figure of the podcast.
Well, of everyone, really, Yeah.
Where does the father figure go to have a father figure?
The Godfather.
The Godfather.
And I'm Tay Whiteside, and together we are the Flying Whitesides.
Flying Whitesides, the retired. Yeah, we don't do the high wires anymore.
The artists formerly known as the Flying Whitesides.
Flying Whitesides. Ta-da!
And you're listening to, of course, the Black Dog Salvage podcast. Today, we will be talking about Season 1, Episode 13 of our little show, Salvage Dogs, which originally aired July 20th, 2013.
Right. So this is
July.
This is kind of fun. We've done, this is the 13th. Mm-hmm. We always did 13 episodes per season.
Yeah.
And that was, I guess, kind of normal. They kind of told us it wasn't, but we just said, hey, we're going to do 13. That's what worked out. And then here we are. We could have done one season with 143 episodes, but that didn't work out.
It's nice to split it apart, and of course, their motive was probably to figure out how much or how little to pay us.
We negotiated ahead of time, so we had to throw down, and they got a good deal on season 1. I can attest to that.
Yeah, but as I noticed in this episode, I don't know why this one, because I feel like we've seen it in earlier ones. We did have that Hino truck already in season 1.
The little Hino.
Yeah. So that we must have, maybe it was a demo still at that point or something, hadn't bought it, but we already were partnering with Hino.
We didn't buy it until
the white box truck,
about
by the way.
3 years. So we had to buy it probably 5 years ago, maybe something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we had the big Hino, which is not in play yet. So if you look at these, we had the old Isuzu, which is it would go 25 miles an hour uphill and downhill.
Yeah.
No matter what.
There was no coasting.
I mean, it could be a steep grade at 25 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, downhill, though, with a wind, I could get her up to 90.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a cab over, too, so you're right in front.
My little Isuzu is the same. I swear on all, 90s Isuzu box trucks, the cruise control is just put the gas pedal on the floor.
Yeah.
And it'll get there eventually.
And we didn't have the show hauler at that time. We didn't have our tool van,
Right.
which came in, I'm assuming, on season 2 or 3. I can't remember when we got the show hauler, but That changed. We thought we were somebody then. We had our own RV mobility garage, poop station, pee station.
Well, and quickly then made the rule number ones only.
Yeah. Then we had somebody, some PA came in and just ruined it one day. It's like, who did this? I got blamed for it, but I knew better.
No, you don't take that.
Yeah,
you don't deserve that kind of shame.
Well,
no one deserves that treatment.
It's not above me, or below me. I'm not sure what that would be.
The gray water tank's below you. Usually.
Yeah, that's right. This was truly black water. But anyway, this was a cool episode. Again, it's the last one of season 1.
Yes, right.
And episode 13.
For some reason, when I went back to play this episode, I noticed that this is one of the episodes from season 1 that I have rewatched the most.
Is that right?
I don't know why. Whether it was, and I have a theory though, is because I think that desk I have, that was your desk, was made from some of the airplane parts that we got.
It was.
And the Jack Brown's back bar gets mentioned a lot. So I feel like this is one that I've gone back to replay a lot because of those parts.
Yep.
And so it was a familiar one to me.
And I'm the one that went and really got them.
Right, because and the wow, it was jump right in the airplane parts. That was the wow in the back of the truck, and Robert drove it in.
Right,
Ted, you and Ted were at the counter, and Robert and I drove them in.
Right, so we would again. This is the most produced part of our show. Is we would mostly we would set it up. What are we getting? And I went to a local guy named Gary Bannister. Who owned it's called Mission Air Support, and I would trade with him. He was hard to trade with. He was, was pretty proud of that stuff. I ended up giving most of that stuff back to him, and then unfortunately he passed away a year or so ago, and I went back and got it back, at a much reduced price, by the way. But anyway, that's where the desk was made. You're right. It had 2 pieces of the wings. They were the flaps from a G1, and a G stands for Gulfstream. Gulfstream 1, which is a turboprop kind of commuter
private jet. Right?
It was prop.
Turboprop. Right.
Turboprop. And so that's what that was made from. And all those parts were from other different. I couldn't tell you. I mean, there's people out there with the aviation prowess, but these were the flaps, the main flaps for that particular. And the good part about that is that we could pan over to your desk, but
yeah, we'll put
one side of it is.
Let me get a pin.
One side of it is flat, which is the downside, and then the top part is curved, like a regular wing. So, regular wing has a curve on top and bottom, but the flaps were flat on the bottom, which when we turn them upside down, they would be, they'd be a great desk without having to put any glass or anything on it, which is another thing.
Right, and this was your desk. I don't know, it'd be cool to see now when we did the build, probably a few years later.
Yeah, it's coming, and we held that stuff for quite a while, it's not because, for one thing, I had to hit a number which I couldn't achieve. That number was way up there. And that's okay. You can ask anything, and it's only worth what somebody will pay for it.
What number you mean? To buy the stuff?
To buy it, to sell it. It was a consignment.
Oh.
And so I had to hit his number before I started to get our number.
And then make some on top of that.
Right. So we would typically we'll take that number, double it, and then we negotiate on our side. Unless I could, say, hey, we got a buyer, let's split the difference, and we would do there. It still was a 50-50.
That was a tough part because Black Dog is still this way. The marketplace, if you've been to Black Dog, the biggest room in the building is the marketplace.
Right.
And in it, among other things, are a bunch of vendors with their own booths and selling their stuff on consignment.
Right.
And it was always tough working the sales counter because, it's a salvage place. Part of shopping at a salvage place is haggling and making a deal. But when they brought a consignor piece to the counter and they asked for money off, it's like, well, this isn't technically ours. Sometimes we'd have to call the vendor. And it was kind of a blanket. We had permission to maybe do 10% off, and anything past that was a special case.
Right. Yeah, and we always say, hey, we still do it today. Say, you want to make an offer, we'll call them.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we'll do the deal right there. Or somebody says, when they say firm, No, we just couldn't do it. We couldn't
Right.
deal with it, and we could take it off our side, but we weren't getting 50% on most of that because most of those guys are vendors in our marketplace, we call it. So anyway, that's kind of the 411 on consignment at Black Dog.
Well, and so back to the wow, the first part of the episode here. One thing that made me laugh was Robert leaned out of the truck when he was driving in. You were walking out of the building, and Robert leans out and says, "I'm not sure I like it, but you will." Me, as the one who did the pick allegedly in the episode, I don't like it, but maybe you will.
Yeah, it takes a long time for Robert to get on board with something.
That's pretty funny,
unless it's a cold Miller beer.
But of course, we know now he didn't actually have anything to do with the pick.
Absolutely nothing. That was our job was to find the pick, arrange the pick,
and he's just like, "Call me when you need me."
Yeah, I'll show up.
What a position to occupy.
He's still like that. Hey, I'll show up. And as soon as it's over, gone.
We thought about getting him on today, and I texted you, and he goes, "Well, too busy."
Too busy. The guy is too busy. But he's got to slow down a little bit because, well, no, maybe not. Maybe he needs to keep going, and I'm slowing down.
Yeah, let him be busy.
Yeah,
that way you can be less busy.
I don't. I've already got it. I've got it. I was gone this end of last week delivering some stuff out to. There's a shout out to the Sheridans. I delivered a hand operated elevator.
That's right. This weekend you were quite the traveler.
I was running around. So I was over in Murphy, North Carolina, which was cool. Stopped by Asheville to spend the night with my sister and brother-in-law, and then headed on over to what you call it.
I love what you call it.
Yeah, that's the place.
Beautiful this time of year.
I love it. It's beautiful any time of year. Over to Eastern North Carolina and delivered a flare. So it was a good time just to kind of meander. I love windshield time.
Yeah, I love that phrase, windshield time. I use it all the time.
Yeah, where was that? Well, just looking out the windshield.
I don't mind at all. I love driving.
It's don't listen to a meditation tape while you're driving because it'll throw you into the zone.
You know what I listen to when I drive?
No,
The
nothing.
Black Dog Salvage podcast.
Do you really?
No.
You're a fan?
No, I do.
I
listen to each one at least once on my morning commute just to, for me, more so than not, to see if I got the audio levels right. Speaking of which, I noticed last week they were a little low. It was a little quiet, so sorry about that.
So you got us back up.
I'm going to bump you up. Yeah, I reduced it too much in the post.
In post. Yeah.
Everything looks good now, but yeah,
But just don't change anything. There you go.
Oh, good. Do less.
I've answered
It's
it.
probably fine.
I've answered your question. Your problem.
One thing that you did in this wow as well was, I don't know that this was the first time, but you grabbed a nose cone and you put it over your head and you said, "Luke, I am your father." And this became a running joke. What is Mike going to put on his head next?
Well, the Luke, the Darth Vader, what was the Spaceball?
Spaceballs.
Yeah,
was
with
the
John Candy and all those guys.
Satire film.
Yeah, well, that was kind of the impetus, I guess.
His name was Darth Helmet.
Yeah, and so I put the nose cone on my head, and it looked like the Rick Moranis, I think was his name.
Yes.
And it was kind of funny.
Yeah,
and it echoed, to
you.
And I had, they were listening to my mic.
Oh, sure.
Because it was on me, so it echoed inside. It was pretty cool.
Luke. I heard that wasn't the actual line from the movie. The actual line spoken by Darth Vader was, "No, I am your father."
Ah.
But it's like what do they call that? Not a colloquialism, but like
yeah.
There's a term for a commonly accepted something that never actually happened.
Okay. A false truth.
Yes, of sorts, like a popularly assumed truth. Anyway.
Yeah, it's been said so long that it is true.
Right, it happens a lot with movie lines.
Yeah, and you would argue till the day you lose your bet.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't bet on my memory anymore. It's just not. It's what I remember.
Yeah,
and it's a lot of times it's not what really happened. And everybody's going to have a rendition of it. How they remember it, and sometimes the majority of it kind of melds, but the whole thing is not right.
Yeah, history is written by those who remember,
or not.
Yeah.
Wow, that's how I remember it. That's a Mike Rowe thing. What's his new? As I remember it, or as I heard it.
The way I heard it.
The way I heard
his
it.
podcast, so good.
They are good.
The most recent one was really good, actually.
I like
listening
Mike.
to it.
I like Mike.
Let's transition into some comments, shall we?
Sure.
Look at that, huh? Using my sound effects
Nicely
properly.
done. Nicely
Transition. And mainly just because I forgot to do this at the top of the show. As always, if you want to comment or leave us a comment to answer, question to answer, or what have you, comment on the video version of the podcast on the Black Dog Salvage YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I haven't really culled these, but off the top, we got one from Paul Lazenby, who's a regular commenter, replying to something we must have said last week. A scabbard is a sword holder you strap to your belt, and the Kevin Spacey played John Doe in 7. And Kevin Spacey played John Doe in 7. I guess we were talking about 7. You said that was one of the scariest movies you saw as a kid.
Yeah.
Or something.
Well, I wasn't a kid, but
recently.
Well, I was an adult. I'm 66 years old, so
you can still be scared. At 66.
It happened. And I know that's other things scare me at 66. Not a movie about the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah, that movie's great. Joey Witterstater, what a name. Love the podcast every week. Book Mike on Cameo. He does a very good job at the personalized videos.
Well, guys, I am on Cameo. I'm a heck of a deal, and I've done probably 8 of them so far.
There you go.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. And a lot of them are, pep talks and whatever. So if you want to personalize greeting, Cameo.com.
Yeah, the Cameo app. Look them up.
Yeah.
Star-studded, personalized
Oh, yeah,
response.
you get, some people are pretty proud,
of
$300 and $400 a whack,
Sure. They're struggling.
I think I'm $49.95 or something.
The deal at twice the price,
That's right.
folks.
I'm giving value still.
And you can make them say whatever you want.
Well, I can't make them say anything, but I will infer. I still have free will.
Yeah, you get editing.
I think, anyway. It's at least my version of it.
Richard McLean says, "Hey, Tay, love the podcast and the content from your new shop. I was wondering, since salvage is obviously in your blood, do you envision projects at Lift Arc that incorporate new fabrication with salvage? I'd love to see it." Interesting question.
Yeah, you're more of a new fab guy, but you will incorporate old stuff because that's just mainly what you had to do with Black Dog, because we give you a bunch of old stuff and say, let's make this.
Well, and that was probably one of the best schools to go to, was how do we take this old thing and whatever we had to do to it, shore it up to make it sturdy, clean it, add parts to it to adapt it into something else.
Adapt it, yeah.
Meeting this part halfway, kind of, and figuring out
the
what
adaptability
it needs.
is really making something new out of something old, and the old is always imperfect.
Yeah.
So blending that and making it look like it was meant to be, it's always a... because I'm a guerrilla welder or grinder, I call myself. So it's hard to make my welds look good.
Be a good grinder.
I'm a great grinder.
But yeah, I do mostly new metal fabrication, in part because of how big the plasma cutter has played a role in my shop recently. You kind of need fresh sheets of metal to throw on that thing. But I try to utilize because Black Dog's just 5 minutes away from my shop. You're right up the street. So I do try to think that way first. In fact, recently I just did some stanchions for the Benny's Pizza people, and my first thought, I needed some big fat rope to go between the uprights. And so my first call was to you to see
as
if
as it should be.
That's right.
I'm the finder, the seeker.
Yeah.
And,
there's the fixer.
And I was up by the lake, and I was delivering something else that day, and took on called my buddy Mike Swain, and he told me where to get it, and I called Joe, said $100 get you 50 feet.
It was awesome.
And I picked it up. And
did you see a picture of those things?
Right to you. I did.
Look at these things.
I'm just a truck guy. I'm just a truck guy. I don't get to see the end result.
Look at.
Oh, that's perfect.
It came out great.
Yeah, it did.
Hold on. I'll put these pictures up too. Here, look at that.
There you go. You put the end caps on. Did you make the end caps?
Yeah, look at these.
Beautiful. Brush steel.
Mm-hmm. Just clear coated.
Beautiful.
Epoxied on there.
That was a perfect size.
Yeah, it really was. It was like a 2-inch rope. See those. Follow Lift Arc on Instagram. That's where I put all my polished pictures up. But Yeah, I mean, I've done a few things. I made a end table out of an old milk jug that someone brought me.
You made a very big sculpture out of a 30-inch, half-inch thick steel pipe.
Very true. But yeah, we took the idea came from you guys. Again, it was a 17-foot tall DNA-esque helical sculpture.
Helical sculpture with cool arms coming out. That's
Yeah.
another. I mean, but you have used
Yeah,
it.
that will.
You know how to use it. That's
Sure.
the point.
Well, and in that case too, good Lord, buying a brand new, to make a helix, I should back up. We chose to take a pipe and cut away everything but the two quote unquote bands of the.
That was perfect.
Worked great.
Couldn't. I mean, to do it by hand. Otherwise, we just don't have the ability. You got to have some pretty big rollers and jigs.
Yeah,
and
you'd
all
have to roll it on an angle to give it a spiral.
Right.
Anyway, but to buy, we ended up contacting Mark Pace,
Yep.
EC Pace, a civil construction company in town. Well, he does everything. If you see a piece of equipment on the road, it probably says EC Pace on it in Roanoke. But we bought a 30-inch casing, which is, I think, what they use to line giant holes when they dig big holes in the ground. They stuff the casing down in the hole to keep the dirt from collapsing in.
Yeah.
So it was a 30-inch by 3/8 thick,
3/8 thick.
by 25-foot long pipe
Yeah.
tube.
It was awesome.
And, we cut 12 feet of it off for my project, and you guys kept
We kept the
other
rest.
part.
Yeah. I made fire rings out of them, and
But it's great. It was true reuse. I mean, that thing probably cost, I don't know, who cares, $1,500, $2,000. A brand new piece of steel like that had been rolled and seam welded
Priceless.
would be $15,000. Maybe, who knows, 10 grand at least. So yeah, you salvage when you can. I guess.
and when you use it when the occasion rises, you don't lead with it. Is kind of what he's getting at.
Well, and being a welder, you prefer clean metal,
Yeah,
right?
but you can find clean metal under old metal.
With a grinder.
A grinder. Or you can just turn it up so hot that it burns through the rust. That's the way I go.
That's what I learned to do first.
That's rural welding. You know, farmer. He's always got it's got rusted stuff.
Turn it up high.
Turn it up hot. Get it hot. Just make sure you don't blow through it.
Yeah. Now I kind of cringe when I think about that, but it's okay.
It's all right. You can get it done. Field welding.
Yeah. Robbie Gully, really enjoy watching every week. So, Mike, are you a Star Trek fan, or you just happen to see ST:4 to see the clear aluminum?
ST:4.
Or Star Trek 4. I don't know if that was episode 4, season 4.
I was the old Star Trek, the TV version. That's what I grew up on, and I watched a couple of the other ones. But I still watch them on Nick at Night. They come on, and it's just kind of funny to watch the props and what they did with the tricorder.
All those practical effects.
The phasers and the communicators and all that. It was awesome.
LeVar Burton's.
No, LeVar wasn't there.
Oh, he wasn't.
No.
Oh.
None of the early TV was in the 70s, I guess, or maybe it had to be 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah, I never got into it.
So I'm not that much of a Star Trek fan, but, like The Next Generation. And I like when Jean-Luc Picard is Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
Jean-Luc.
That's the most memorable
Patrick,
one, right?
Patrick, what's his last name? Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart, yeah. Sir Patrick Stewart.
Okay.
Someone named LJP commented, "Keep the podcast going. Very enjoyable. I bit the bullet and signed up for Discovery Plus streaming." She says in parentheses, screaming?
Yeah.
To rewatch all episodes. Still amazing after all these years. All of you are so natural and funny on camera. 20 minutes is way too short.
Well, it was 22.
Signed me, Sluggo Gal, college nickname, long story.
Got it. Sluggo.
Sluggo Gal.
Yeah, that was a cartoon.
We won't. Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you can watch it still on demand. That's about the only place. Discovery
And
Plus.
Discovery Plus, you're welcome.
Yeah, we don't get paid to plug that, but we
Yeah.
do it because we have to. You got us right here under our.
Well, we got they still play it, which is a benefit to us. So
Sure.
we're still getting new audience that hadn't seen the series, and so you got 143 to catch up on, which you can binge it, but you're going to be in your jammies for a while.
which is fine, you know?
Yeah.
Perfect. Stub your toe on something, come down with a super easy to manage case of the cold, and lay down.
If you get the blues, just take 2 aspirin and 3 episodes of Salvage Dogs.
I hear it takes it right out.
It'll cure what ails you.
That needs to be a shirt.
Well, it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. It's not all.
It's light.
It's not all that.
It's light.
We have a good time. We laugh. We get along with each other mostly, and it's a good show. We're proud of it.
I'd say, yeah.
That's why we're doing this, so we can get a little back behind the scenes stuff. Anything else?
This is a long one.
Yeah.
I want to vet it. Well, sure. We'll humor this person. Dilly Gogs Makes Stuff, the YouTube channel. Hey, guys. These are getting better and better. Thank you. I've been telling myself that I was going to hold off until Season 5's podcast, but I'm impatient, and you kind of lit the fire for me. Okay. Go back and watch them now. Last week, if you're reading this, you spoke about wooden boats and how they aren't effective if they're allowed to dry out. My word, don't I know about this.
Oh, good.
For years, my partner and I have toyed with building a unique mobile bar. In fact, we wanted it to be unique. We could never find or agree on a project until we saw you guys turning the bow of a boat into a bar.
Yep.
Eureka, he says. That, along with your other nautical works, inspired us to buy an old beaten-up clinker and turn her into a mobile bar. 1 year of working on her, and she's now finished. I'm not looking for a plug, but would love your feedback, particularly yours, of course, Mike. Sorry, Tay. Here's the finished article. You'll see more here. 2 links. I need to build a shelter for her that is collapsible and portable. I'd love to pick your brains on this. I know I'm pushing it there, if you don't ask. Also, Dilly Gogs is the name of my company. My son's name is Dylan Gordon. We nicknamed him Dilly Gogs, and so there it is. Thanks for the inspiration. Keep it up, guys. Thanks for everything. Dale
He's got a YouTube.
Quumbran. He said, please try to say that. Dale CWMBRAN.
So he's got a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Dilly Gog.
Look at. Here, I'll play. I'll give him. This is his video.
Oh, Drunken Sailor.
Look at that. That is quite.
It's a nice job, man.
Much more impressive than it sounded. Look at that.
And this thing's mobile?
I wonder if it's like parade float mobile or if it actually.
On a trailer, maybe.
Yeah.
It's on a trailer. It is on a boat trailer.
That's beautiful.
That's
just
awesome.
a quick walk around. Go check them out on YouTube, folks. Dilly Gogs Makes Stuff. Blow them up.
Let's do something together there, Dilly Gog. I got some boat stuff, some plane stuff.
That's cool. Thanks for reaching out.
I appreciate that. I always like watching or seeing what other folks are doing with salvage, and it's just unbelievable, And I'm amazed daily. I was like, I didn't see that, and I see a lot. I was like, I see stuff like that, and I can see it after a while, especially when somebody else does it. Then I can just use that. I kind of morph it a little bit and do it again.
Yeah.
It's everything. Everything's rehashed.
No
everything.
art's truly original.
No. Well, now you got AI doing it, so what the heck?
We're all screwed.
Yeah. That's AI Rembrandt. Just call me Al.
You call me Al. Well, that wraps up the comment session. Let's get back to the episode.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm having so much fun with these sound
I
pads.
know. I see that.
I think I'm using them properly now.
All right, so
we're
halfway through the pod. So
that's it. So let's get into it.
Let's crank it.
So other than we hit the wow, talk more about that than I thought. But we sit down at the round table with another, quote, exceptional opportunity to fail, as Robert puts it in this week's show.
That's a great way to lead into something. And then, how about let's we can fail on this one too, guys.
A version of that quote became his favorite. Either we have another opportunity to succeed or an exceptional opportunity to fail. It made me laugh every time, but, nihilism is sometimes funny, at least.
Well, it's Robert. That's who he is, man. He's true.
We did a quick pick with a gentleman named Dylan, who had a red truck and long hair, brought in an old school desk, a crystal bell, pewter chandelier, and a Mustang pedal car. Dylan is quite the
He's
character.
quite the character, yeah.
The thing I remember about him most was he was showing me pictures of his open back spine surgery.
It's his throat. He did neck surgery through his throat.
Yeah. Wild.
I didn't want to see it.
Yeah.
I did not want to see it.
He was the connecting piece for the Bent Mountain Mill
Right.
with that job. I guess
He's the one that got paid for that.
Good for him.
Well, not good for it's good. Not good for the guy that needed 20 cases of Genesee.
Oh, he
Cream
got
Ale.
actual money, and the other guy got paid in beer.
Yeah, and that was because that was a deal that he made with him. I'll buy you 20 cases of beer, and the guy came to us and got us. And that's who this guy's dealing. So he's a picker. I hadn't seen him in a while. He wanted to be in the reality business real bad because he was cool, and he had some interesting stories. I couldn't tell you if they were bullshit or not, but
Right.
they're fun to listen to.
Yeah, sure. His story is worth the entertainment value.
I guess.
Yeah,
But
he was, he was one of those people that when you put a camera in front of him, he becomes enamored by the camera.
Yeah, and
he's looking to,
but it didn't happen. So there you go.
Good dude, super nice. Always
Yeah,
treated
and it was
us
some
well.
good stuff too. And I was looking at you because you were watching me
Haggle.
negotiate.
Yes.
And just you had that still young face and those black glasses you used to have.
Yeah.
And just watching you listen to the dickering. Mm-hmm. So I got back down. I got down to where I wanted, but he threw in the car. The 375, I think, is where it ended.
Yes.
And that was pretty good. That's a pretty good deal for that load.
Was that real? Was that all his stuff that he brought in?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. There we go.
Yeah.
That deal actually happened, folks.
I don't know if I bought it from him. I think I probably say, hey, I told him that he got a lot of good exposure, and I'll give him 200.
You're going to be famous.
You're going to be
after
famous
this.
someday. Just ask you.
You'll be famous in 10 years when they talk about you on a podcast.
That's right. That's right. He's still around. Anyway, so that was a round table. It was kind of fun. We had a wow and a round table. And a
pick.
We had a wow. We had two wows, basically.
Right. A pick that came to us.
Which was a little different. I mean, it doesn't give it a whole lot of time for this. And then, of course, we had the build.
The build, yes. We've, on all of our channels, we've discussed this is probably one of the coolest cooler top 10, I would say, local builds installs.
If you were watching earlier on, Bill Myers had we found this thing, and this was Jesse Ray Carter.
Yes.
The infamous rockabilly guy around here. I don't know if he's infamous, but in his own mind he was.
To us he was.
Anyway, that was one of the pieces that he found, and it was where it was in the weeds.
For context, it was a 1940s Ford school bus front end. Grill, headlights, side markers, all that.
It was awesome.
Multicolored paint, flaking and stuff.
Oh, yeah. And then I didn't take it. And when we cleaned it, I said, just be light on it, guys.
Yeah.
Don't knock off all this paint because that's where the value is at those multi-layers.
Yeah.
But then, I had it. I pulled it off the floor.
To put in your private reserve.
Put it in my private collection because I wanted to do something cool with it.
Yeah.
And I didn't want it to leave without me getting to do my thing. So it was down in the shop, and the guy, Aaron from
Jack Brown's. I got you, man. I'll carry
me through. I haven't drunk enough yet.
Jack Brown's Burgers and Beer. That's a kind of a local chain.
Started in Harrisonburg,
and there's one in Charlottesville, I think.
Yeah, they've got probably half a dozen of them now. So, but this was one, and he wanted something cool. And I said, "You want something cool? Let me show you something." I walked down there and I showed him the front end. He said, "How much?" I said, "I'll sell it to you, but you got to let me do the build."
Yeah.
And we did, and I got the front of the bar too, and Bill St. Pierre did the top, and it was right when they were starting.
Yeah, they were building the restaurant out as we speak. And so the build in question, of course, was I guess technically you call it a back bar.
Back bar.
It was really just a eye catcher, but it did hold 4 beer taps in the front of it.
That's how we wanted it.
And the lights lit up. We made the lights light up, and we
low voltage,
of course. And we put the front end on basically a framed piece of that corrugated metal that came off of the Bent Mountain Mill.
Yeah. So you start thinking of how many parts go into a build, and what story do they have behind them. Obviously the back was from one place. So it's kind of everything has a couple of stories by the time we're through it. Sometimes they have 4 or 5 stories, which is part of the really the value of what we do.
Yeah, even the life it lived while we had it. Right, even just from when we first touched that corrugated metal, the story that was told with us taking it apart.
It didn't take too long. Now I've got stuff that I still have from day one. Day one.
You guys need to have a part of the website that's called
What's left?
TV leftover, TV dinner, leftover TV dinner.
Leftover, yeah. So anyway, so that was the build. It turned out great.
And this was for, of course, the Roanoke Jack Browns down on Market Street.
It's a great place. Great burgers, all the beers you can drink.
It's every beer that's ever existed. I'm pretty sure they have.
I don't know how you get that out of 4 taps, but that's an interesting story.
Yeah, most of the stuff is in a cooler, but they have 4 of their favorites always on tap.
Yeah, and Lonnie was in the build again. He was part of that deal.
Yep, Lonnie, and then Ted helped on the install. That was cool that we got to film the install, versus most of the time we don't see where the builds go when it was done. This we got to see it, and as that segment concluded, they put up a finished picture of it.
Yeah, we didn't do that too many times through the season, through the years.
Yeah.
That was pretty rare that we were able to follow the build to its end. Most of the time, the end was our floor. We were going to sell it.
Did you ever walk in there and say, "I built that"? To Jack Brown's?
Oh, no. They know.
Yeah.
They know.
I did. I name dropped a few times.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you get a burger out of it or a beer?
I don't know.
I don't think you did.
I don't think so.
I never got one.
I think I probably used it as a way to impress a date I might have been on.
Oh, yeah, I did that.
Hey, baby, I guess, well, I don't talk like that anyway. Hey, baby, that's
Hey,
not
baby.
me anyway. But, isn't that cool? I built that.
Yeah.
Little cred.
Well, then there you go. You got that for your
makes you feel
resume,
good.
don't you? Way to go. Way to go, Tay.
Well, we built that. Let's be honest with you.
That's okay. All right, so we're at the house here. We're on the
Yes.
we
Off to the salvage. Well, the salvage in this case was a late 1800s stick style house with East Lake adornments.
Yeah.
In a 3,000 square foot house in Knoxville, Tennessee.
And this was a farmhouse for that whole area was a farm at one time, and this was the house that all the farmer lived in.
It's pretty wild when you see a house like that in like a metropolitan area, and you're like, God, there must have, at one point there was nothing but land around here,
Right.
And
Well,
this is the last bastion of that.
And this part of Washington Pike was pretty rough.
Yeah.
It was apartments on 3 sides of the house.
Yeah, definitely
So
low income housing.
So we were quite the entertainment for the day.
We were entertaining Skid Row for sure.
Yeah, because once we got in this house, I had looked at it a while back to get the to vet it.
Yeah, scout it.
And it had a lot of drug paraphernalia in it, which was the first thing we saw, because we like to assess the house first. We all walk together through it, say, okay, here's what we're going to do. And you start seeing, the spoons and the syringes and leftovers of,
bad living.
Yeah.
Tough living, let's say.
It is what it is.
Right. That was how the job was pitched to us. I got to sneeze. Hold on. One of the bigger points you said to us going into that was like, be careful about reaching blindly on top of things and where you stick
Right.
your
Look where you put your hands,
because there's needles and spoons and stuff around. And,
it wasn't.
and if you don't know what those things together mean, great, good for you.
Yeah,
That's good for
the world
you.
you're living in.
But as you said, the house had a lot to give, and Robert called it a stick-style house. And in the interest of being thorough, I went and looked that up, what it is, and I printed out a little thing. Stick-style. This is from the Washington State Department of Archaeology and Historic Preservation.
That's a mouthful.
Stick style existed roughly between 1870 and 1895. It was a late 19th century American architectural style and is considered by many as a transitional style found between the Carpenter Gothic style of the mid-19th century and the Queen Anne style that it had evolved into by the 1890s. It's named after the use of linear stickwork, in parentheses, overlay board strips on the outside walls, which mimic an exposed half-timbered frame. So it's sort of similar to those like German-style architecture where you can see the differently colored sort of framing that
it's kind of the Victorian part of it. Yeah.
The style represented the most innovative design concepts and building technologies of its time, yet it did not attract serious study or even a widely accepted name until a century later.
Well, that's a doggone shame. That's
go.
when it comes around a century later.
Yeah.
You weren't around if you started the stick style or named it anyway. I'm sure it's been a value through the years. And
Right.
I don't think it really gives it a thumbs up. What'd you get? Well, we got a stick style house.
Yeah,
And
sort of
it's
best we
You
got.
got to remarket the name on that one.
Sticks, right? That you build. It's that
Well,
style.
yeah. Just go, put a lot of sticks together, and that's the style we're using.
Yeah.
But this was a really interesting house. They had some really cool hardware. The fretwork and the case molding was great, but unfortunately, this house had baked. Mm-hmm. The heat had gotten to this wood, and it was very, very brittle. It wasn't, and the nails weren't letting go. Was part of it. That was.
I don't remember that.
Well,
Yeah.
the nail won't let go, and you're prying. Something's going to give, and the wood gave.
Right.
And we didn't get a lot out of that. We got all the corner.
The plinth blocks.
Oh,
Corner blocks.
thought somebody was.
Farting.
It sounded like it, but it's the puppy dogs. They're not farting.
Stella's cleaning herself right now.
That's good. Turn away. But anyway, there was good stuff coming out. The windows were great. They had the little stained glass squares around it.
Yeah.
And the glass was good. I remember showing it in one where you could see the wave really well.
I remember it. I think of wavy glass, and I think of this house. It was like extremely wavy.
And that just happens because it's all hand-laid glass.
Right.
It's not blown. It's just it's laid.
Some called it float glass.
Yeah.
They'd float it over whatever it was.
Whatever their medium was.
More dense than.
Yeah,
it was. Dense than.
Some of it is it's art.
Yeah.
You put it up against a clear piece glass, and it looks like the glass next door with clear glass or straight glass is empty.
Right.
There's something different here.
You were sure.
So when you're doing restorations, that was what that was good for.
Pay attention to it. Yeah.
Cool mantels. Hardware was awesome.
Right. That was another talking point was East Lake hardware, the East Lake style. And I didn't print anything out on that, but as I came to know it from working at Black Dog, it was sort of an intricate, like geometric pattern, and often found on the hinges and the doorknobs and the striker plates and
everything that had the hardware. Yeah, it was. It definitely depicted the style, and it was kind of wasn't Art Nouveau, but it was kind of in that
almost deco-y.
Yeah, in between those, somewhere in there. But
really cool.
We love to see it. And it's if you got one hinge in the house like that. The majority of the hinge, every other hinge is the same. Mm-hmm. So you kind of look at stuff going like, well, here's some value. Then, of course, you get to the other hinges and they're busted.
Right.
They're been replaced with old Stanleys.
Yeah, because these cast hinges broke after being removed or doors kicked in.
Well, whatever abuse you put into it.
Yeah. But we got enough of it, I think, some of it.
And one of the funniest, the greatest silhouette pictures or silhouette captures was Grayson, and Grayson wasn't in the round table with us, so she wasn't quite at that point, I guess, of coming in and doing a round table.
Yeah,
which I think next season we bring her in.
Absolutely.
I hope we bring her in.
Yeah,
because she always added to it. But she was in the opening. Obviously, this is an OSHA violation like crazy because she had no climbing gear on, but she was in the window taking out some pulleys or something, so she was almost
standing in the window opening,
posing,
sort of hip locked back, leaning forward.
Yeah. Like you got to go back and look at it, guys. Just and it catched her twice, but the one where she was a silhouette, I think Gary Costner, our head of camera guy, captured that one.
I think he won an award for that shot.
Is that right?
No.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a cool capture. Another cool capture, as I'm sure you will remember, is you did a little bleeding.
Yeah, I took a headshot. And I had my safety glasses on, thank goodness, and I was prying.
You were on a ladder on the main floor doing something.
Well, I was prying case molding off that wasn't letting go.
There you go.
And because it didn't let go, I put a lot of pressure into it, and then it let go, and I couldn't divert because I was too close to it.
A flat bar or something in your hand?
A flat bar, end of the flat bar, boom. Cocked me right in the left eye, I guess. Yeah, it was left eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
some thin skin, too, right there.
Oh, there's a lot of blood, too. That's one of the main places the first blood goes to is the brain. And, and right behind that wound was my brain. But it bled, so it was kind of funny because you could hear them talking.
On their walkie-talkie.
Mike's bleeding. And,
were you by yourself?
Ted was in the room. He was on the other window.
Obviously a camera guy, but
yeah, camera and sound.
yeah.
Whoops.
Oh, look, you did the magic. You made your chair go
There
down.
we go. I'm shrinking.
It's like that elevator party trick.
So I knew that right away. Knocked my glasses off. I knew right away I had an
Plus,
injury.
something's gonna bleed.
Yeah, and of course, it's right on the eyebrow. So I'm going through, got my hat cocked to the side, and sit down just to
Glasses askew.
assess the whole. Yeah, knocked the nose piece all over the place.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I mean, it probably could have used a stitch, but
Do you still have it?
I don't know.
It's hard to tell.
Probably not.
Don't raise your eyebrows. You're making folds in the skin here. Relax your forehead. There you go. That might be something right there.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's say that's it.
That's
wow,
it.
what a scar.
Well, that scar right there, if you see it.
Oh yeah, you told me about
Yeah,
that.
that one happened out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
Swim platform came up and busted your chin.
Bust me open.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank goodness there were any sharks.
Ooh, yeah, chumming.
That's another story.
So, as always, the camera's looking for the fire, the blood.
It's the cliffhanger
the
between
broken thing,
3
the
and
drama.
4. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, right, you start bleeding, and they get on their walkie-talkies and go, Mike's bleeding. Gary, come film this. Mike's bleeding. And then, of course, the next thing that happened, you were out on the tailgate of the truck or something, and I think they came and got Robert first.
Robert.
I'm not sure if they told him to do anything particular other than go
Be you.
check on Mike.
Go be you.
And he walks out and wasn't the most caring tone as I remember.
It's as good as it gets.
He goes, "Yo, do you remember how it went? That interaction?"
It was
Sort of like, "You okay?
Yeah.
Are you done?
Yeah. Hey, are you through bleeding yet?
Let's get back to work."
Oh.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
What a caring.
Thank you, buddy. Well,
And then I came out, I think, and actually tried to help. I think I helped you.
Yeah, they didn't film you.
No, yeah, they didn't film that part.
Yeah, well, it was okay. I just I cleaned it up, put some pressure on it. Wasn't too deep.
Yeah.
Band-Aid, off we go. I was 20 minutes out, and I was back in it.
Yeah. As far as face plus flat bar is concerned, you got off pretty.
Oh yeah, it could have been a lot worse.
Pretty light.
Yeah, I missed. Luckily, like I said, the glasses stopped it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I do bleed.
He is human, folks.
After all, and well, I do bleed, and that's a good thing. I'm always a quart. I used to be about a quart low, running with a quart low. Never bring it up to the fill line.
That's a resilient engine that can run a quart low.
That's my norm. I would have been somebody else if I had a full complement. Filled up to the top of the stick.
You'd have been an athlete if you had all the blood everyone else had.
Yeah. So, but these were some cool pieces. All that stuff's gone. I thought I got one piece left, which was the railing between the newel post and the wall, the little short one. There was just a cute little transition, and we sold the newel post.
Good.
Yeah, and then this has been hiding. At Black Dog, you'll get 5 layers deep sometimes, and you lose stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if it was a big thing that got leaned up on a wall, when we didn't have a full room of stuff, that looked great. But then you get a smaller thing, and you put that kind of in front of the bigger thing, and then you got a slightly smaller thing.
It's a treasure hunt sometimes. But I saw it the other day, and it's still there, folks. So I'll pull it out and make it available for you again. I'm sure it's not on our website.
Just mention that you listen to the podcast, and we'll give you 10% off.
Oh, there you go.
How about that?
There you go. Maybe 20.
Hey,
hey.
I was being conservative. Was this the house that we pulled the porch columns off? Okay,
yes.
I didn't finish screening the episode. In all honesty, so I wanted to make sure
we did. We got all the fretwork off.
Yeah, the front porch was at least 2-side wraparound porch.
It was 2-side.
Maybe
this was one front.
Yeah,
I think.
Okay,
yeah.
let's go with it.
Yeah, and then there was another one around the side.
Yeah,
where I bled. But this one, so we always want to play, and this is what guys do when they play. They destroy stuff. Not just
trucks,
guys,
gravity,
people.
breakage. Yeah.
Yeah, just, stuff.
Yeah.
Testosterone.
I used to strap fireworks to Lego men when I was a kid, so I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad Mom.
So you just blew them up. You didn't throw them into space.
Well, I did tie them to bottle rockets a few
yeah.
times. The backyard space program.
Yeah, I used to make parachutes out of plastic and string and a rock.
Yeah. Oh, I use grocery bags.
Yeah.
Let's see if you could. Yeah.
Anyway, things we do as kids.
Well,
I think it's probably
that turns into when you're salvaging a house and you're almost done and you need to get the columns out from under a porch and you know the house is coming down.
Thanks for bringing it back, Tay. So we tied up to Robert's half ton.
Yeah, it was like a 2012
Ford
Chevy 1500.
Was it that? Anyway, I thought
it was that black
Ford.
Chevy. It was the black one. He had just got it. It was like brand new.
And so here we are using it to pull parts of the house down, and the last one didn't want to let go.
Yeah, there's a clip of Robert's truck like
bouncing,
spinning and.
Well, I think the ass end came off the ground a little bit. You know?
Impressive.
Yeah, it is for a little truck like that.
Yeah, and a good trailer hitch. Yeah. The hitch was really well.
But we persevered and pulled it off, and it didn't drop. I mean,
right. We kick all the legs out from under this roof that's over the porch,
Yep.
and it's still there. And
now we're in the soup.
Cue the tense music.
Yeah, because if it don't drop, we're going to be there. Somebody's going to have to babysit this thing. So we had to, and I couldn't get up there and jumped on top of it, but it was
as much as you wanted.
It was going to go. Yeah. So I decided to reach in from the window side and
right.
a couple of good pry bars and boom.
It's pretty funny. It looked like you barely touched, just tink.
It wasn't much.
Yeah.
It definitely wasn't. It just needed a little help.
Jostle.
And it hit the deck, and I was like, now we got to look at I got to start salvaging parts of that. I even pulled some wood off of that.
Yeah. We're like, Mike, we got to go.
Okay, get out of here. We had to go over to the network, I think. Didn't we do something over there?
Yeah, Scripps. Good call. If it wasn't this trip, it was another one. But the Scripps Network, SCRIPPS, used to be the parent company of DIY, Travel Channel, Food Network, HGTV, all that stuff. Right. And their headquarters was in Knoxville, Tennessee, or at least one of their headquarters.
And they're still there, but they're owned by Discovery.
Then Discovery bought them, and we were doing season 9, so that would have been like 2018, maybe something like that. And then I guess they still own them, but then the DIY channel under the Discovery blanket turned into Magnolia, which is where you can find us today. That's it.
Sometimes early in the morning, I got an email today that says, I watch you every morning at 2:00.
There's sleeping medicine for that.
He's in the night owl or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Third shift.
But that's where it is. And I love the script days. It was, they didn't mess with us.
Well, we got to meet the people in charge, and they were very welcoming. And we went out to dinner with, a few of the different network heads, and it was.
Luckily, we had, a good production company to insulate us from the directors. We got one at the end. We got a real good one, but for those first one, I can't remember what his name was. Dean or
Steve Lerner.
No, that's Steve was
Dean.
Dean. Anyway, he was terrible, and I remember one day I guess really just condescending kind of person. I'm somebody.
Yeah.
And we were out salvaging, and one of the producers goes, Dean is gone. They say he got fired.
Yeah.
And then we started singing Ding Dong, Dean is gone, like out of the Wizard of Oz. Yeah.
I don't remember that. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was good because he was Peckerwood. There's no doubt about it. And he just had that act,
I'm in charge. I'm special.
Yeah, and our producers didn't like him at all. I remember Beth Glover and Bob Nastasi too.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Well, because the network exec has final say on everything.
Yeah, he can make your life
especially
miserable.
Sponsors and blurring stuff.
I mean, luckily
partners.
he put no comments. I mean, these guys would send notes to him and stuff, and
rough cuts.
You expect some notes back, some corrections or whatever to say. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's just like, come on, give us something. And then when we got our new production guy, he had ideas.
Yeah.
And so that's why that was good. It gave us.
I love feedback.
It gave the production guys. I keep hitting this thing on my chair.
It's cool. Every now and again, you're going to be a different height.
Yeah.
There's a reason to watch the YouTube version, guys.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that, guys. It's just
Depending on where you forward to in the episode, Dad's going to be at a different height.
But anyway, yeah. So Dean's gone, and we can find us on Magnolia. You can find us on Discovery Plus and anywhere else out there that they want to stream us.
Yeah, people even pirate it and put it on YouTube at different speeds.
Oh, that's right. Is that what?
Have you seen that?
I have. I wonder why they were different speeds.
YouTube has algorithms to. Basically, it's mostly done on audio. They have a server somewhere that has a sample of every copywritten audio track ever, and so if you post something, the algorithm will see if there's a comp. Well, if you upload it at a different playback speed,
can't find
it tricks the algorithm. So that's why all the Salvage Dogs episodes on YouTube are like 1.5 times.
AI is going to take care of that.
We all sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yeah. I watched a lot of Yellowstone little blurbs, little segments, 10-minute segments, and they're all speaking in a higher tone.
Yeah. Higher tone. We got to do this.
Yep.
All right, hey guys, there's a Salvage this week.
That's right. It's like something's going wrong here. What else we got, buddy?
Well, I think that's it. We've made it to the end of Season 1, Episode 13, the end of Season 1 of the Black Dog Salvage podcast, as it happens.
Oh, that too. It coincides with reality.
You see, I had a plan. A plan. Those first 6 were fun, but this is where the rubber meets the road.
Well, we've done. You and I have done 13 now.
That's correct.
And then we did the 6 before.
Yep.
That weren't on YouTube.
The heavily produced episodes.
Oh, I loved it. It was fun doing.
It was great. The show had a great flow
with Jason and Bob and
Will
and the other Bob
and our guests,
Robert. Oh yeah, Mark Bowe and Steve Thomas.
We are well poised to bring on guests. I have 4 microphones, and people can call in. Well, I shouldn't say people can call in, but if I make a phone call on my phone,
right,
I can patch that through. So now more than ever, we need you guys to reach out. We may go straight into Season 2. We might take a little break. I don't know, but we're going to keep going, and definitely let us know what you thought of Season 1, but more importantly, what you'd like to see in Season 2.
And maybe what we can do is a streaming connection between first season, second season.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll sit down one day and just stream live. Set it up, do a little promo on it, and we'll do a live stream and take some calls.
Well, let's do it.
And get them.
I'll figure out you can do, because I'm not going to put my actual phone number out, but you can do a call forwarding.
We'll have to go get a burner phone.
Yeah, okay. All right. Get a track phone. Yeah.
That's a burner.
How many missions should you choose to accept it?
Yeah.
This will now self-destruct. But this is fun,
Yeah.
I'm amping up my young adult professional career. You're ramping.
I'm on the exit ramp.
You're down.
You're on the on ramp.
Yeah.
I'm on the exit ramp. So we're just kind of staying on our parabolic curve.
Sure.
Of
I'm lucky to be on a parabola. Any curve,
really. We're all on a curve somewhere. Where are you on your curve? I've already crested, by the way. I'm not full blown on the black runs, but I'm definitely heavily blue. That's a skiing comp.
Got it.
When you're on the blue slopes or the black slopes or the
blue square or the
double diamonds
Yeah.
So I'm still in the blues. That's intermediate.
Yeah, you're still giving it. You're still pushing.
Yeah, it won't take much to kick me into the fast lane.
Yeah,
the way my back feels these days. I turned 66 and it just like fell off. Everything fell away.
Your muscles were just holding, and they're like, oh, okay, he's good.
All right, he's over. He's done. Just, and I think it's the universe talking to me, going like, hey, he's getting back up. Hit him again. Yeah. We don't want him to do that.
He's not getting it.
Yeah. I'm getting it, by the way. Been in physical therapy for the last month, trying to get it all straightened up. But anyway, there's good stuff coming. Season 2 is pretty awesome, as I remember.
Yeah, we really start getting into our stride.
Yeah.
There was a gap in production between season 1 or 2, wasn't there? Like we did one season and we were like, holy crap.
Well,
we made
what happened
one
is
season of television.
the first season took us a year, and usually after that it took us 6 months to do one season. And that's because they only gave us 5 and then picked up 8, so it had an elongated run.
A lot of momentum to get.
Yeah, and we get our S together. We finally kind of coagulate. The production company feels it. You know, we do. The Dean is still not giving us any notes, so it's perfect. Yeah. Y'all gonna love Dean.
Long leash.
I'll get Dean's last name and phone number next time so I can give him to you. That's how much I like that guy.
Yeah. Have complaints? Call him.
Call Dean.
We're gonna put his number on a billboard.
No, he's not that bad. It just butthole.
That just wasn't helpful at all.
Or gave a shit. And he just didn't give a shit, you know, and that's the way evidently his life works, you know. So he got a couple of years out of not giving a shit.
How about that?
Yeah, that's a plan.
Yeah,
you know, what are you going to do?
Coast and make money?
I don't give a shit.
I don't know, and I don't care.
That's Dean. You can always find us on blackdogsalvage.com.
That's right. Krista's doing a good job about sharing pictures she might have from the archives relating to what we talk about here. So definitely follow Black Dog on Instagram, Facebook, and all that. And
we'll have a lot more documentation that we can use because as we went through the seasons, we got more savvy.
Yeah, I started photographing everything, and we were better about saving it.
Yeah, we couldn't. They wouldn't let us use it, so we had to have our own. The only way, and of course, we'd go off and do an interview by ourselves.
Yeah,
and I remember, I think it was Clark McCarthy. It's like, hey guys, we're over here.
Yeah, filming an actual.
Hey, give me just a minute. We're doing our version of it.
Well, we were hungry.
Yeah, well, we didn't know what the heck we were doing anyway.
Yeah,
so it didn't really matter. It was fun.
Yeah, but I took notes on this one, so you will have hopefully seen pictures and stuff what we're talking about. But that's it. Follow, subscribe to Black Dog Salvage on YouTube.
Hit the bell.
Hit the bell.
Be
leave
a part
a
of
comment.
it. Yeah, I mean, you know, again, we got 19 comments last time.
Pretty big one.
Yeah,
actually.
That's good for us.
Yeah.
You know? And we'll do a live thing. I think would be kind of fun. Maybe we can, you can. Ask questions before, and we can kind of queue them up if they're interested. If there's anybody out there interested,
well, we should. We'll do a live Q&A between the season.
All right.
But again, subscribe to Black Dog on YouTube because it'll likely be there. So
we're at the end of January 2023
in real life.
Yeah. The reality is we're still here.
Still cold. Gonna go home and warm up.
Yeah. It's summer's coming. They say.
God, I hope so.
You know,
we're gonna do an episode of this like at Harker's Island on the beach with a mimosa in one hand and a microphone in the other.
Just a cold Pacifica is all, man. Just a cooler of Pacificas in a bucket, or in
an old metal
cooler
bucket.
Well, that's more Acapulco. I'm thinking let's keep them cold.
Yeah, as cold as possible.
I love it because Mexican beer. I mean, it's no good when it's warm.
A little skunky when it's warm.
Yeah. So get out there, put your feet in the water. If you're in warm
whatever
areas,
that means to you.
Yeah, unless you're Wim Hof, and then you can put your whole body in ice water.
Yeah, right.
They say it's good for you.
Thank you. It is good. Cold plunge. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We appreciate the heck out of you. You know?
Be good to yourselves, guys. See you when it goes around one more time.
This has been us doing this. See you next week.
What he said. Start it out.
Got it. I'm tired.
Yeah, we seem to make it an hour, don't we?
We do.
Yeah.
Never fear. We will fill some memory cards up.
And we didn't even start talking to 30 minutes into it. Bye, America.